Welcome to the Nate KG Podcast, a show dedicated to exploring the nuances of jump rope, where I talk with jumpers of all skill levels, backgrounds, and fitness goals. Today, we're going to hear from my friend Pakhung. Pak is a world champion jumper, the founder of Ultra Jump Rope, and an all-around great guy. If you haven't seen Pak jump, you need to go check out his jumping on Instagram at Pakhungjai. That's Pakhungjai. We originally connected over Instagram and had an immediate in-depth conversation about all things competitive jump rope. So we brought a lot of that to today's show. We talked about competitive speed step training, changing jump rope goals during COVID, Pak's program he's building for recreational jumpers, the intense demands of being a competitive jumper, and a whole lot more. We do have a couple blips and scratches in the audio, but don't worry, the content is still gold. All of the show notes for this episode can be found over at natekg.com. And if you're a returning listener, I'd really appreciate if you could leave a quick review for the show. It helps tremendously. All right, it's time to get started. Please enjoy this conversation with Pakhung. Pakhung, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. We're going to get into a lot of different subjects, and we were originally talking over Instagram DM, which was honestly, it was really cool to connect with you. And we started getting into a couple of discussions about things that I really wanted to bring to everybody else who listens. So I think a great place to kind of begin with our podcast is for you to explain where you are in the world and to explain how you first started jumping rope.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm in Hong Kong right now. So when I was young, when I was in secondary school, it was like high school in US, I think, and then there is like we are kind of like divided into like different kind of house, and then there will be like some inter-house competition. So jump rope is one of the competition there. So I started from there, like joining those kind of like long ropes and then like some easy speed events, and then I joined in the school team and I started to compete in a like inter-school competition, and then I started to like join some jump rope team outside, and then I kept going and then until now.
Nice. And what age did you first start jump roping?
I think I was starting when I was 15, so it was a little bit. Actually, it's a little bit late for like someone who want to be like a competitor. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about this in Instagram, how 15 years old is considered like an old age to start for competition jump rope. How did you, because your form is really, really good, and I really enjoy watching you jump. And I remember I was actually looking at a couple of your posts right before this podcast, and you have a couple of different posts of you showing like TJ quadruple under variations, and you finished them very, very cleanly. What was kind of your process, or what did your training look like when you first started jumping, and how did that kind of evolve?
So when I first start jumping, actually there is no like a proper coach to coach me. I just like watching my friends to jump and then like searching videos on YouTube that time. And then and when I was getting into a team, so like when I started to like really compete in a team events, so I was assigned to a team which like those teammates were competing in the World Championship in 2018, but I was starting jump rope in 2019. So like I think like what I can do is like keep doing things that I can do. So at that time I was like always doing double unders and triple unders on my own. So like I started to like train a lot with like different multiple skills. So I think like where that kind of like that forms come from.
Gotcha. And so that's interesting. So when you first started jumping, you were just hanging out with your friends. At what point did you, just so I have it clear, you're placed onto a jump rope team? Like somebody assigned you to a jump rope team, or did you have to go find the team?
So like I was like invited to join our jump rope club in Hong Kong, and then the coach assigned me to one of the teams that they are going to form to compete in the Asian Championship that year. So yeah, that coach assigned me to that team.
That's really cool. Can you kind of give me a description of what the competitive jump rope teams are like, and how many are around you, and what the teams are like? Because I haven't had any experience with teams internationally, so I'm really curious what that's like for you.
Hong Kong is one of the special region in China. So like we compete separately as a country. So like we can
Oh,
send
gotcha.
our own teams as Hong Kong team. So like in Hong Kong, I think there are I think like there are around 10 jump rope clubs in Hong Kong, but Hong Kong is like relatively small. And then I actually um, I think like currently there are like active I think like 300 to 400 jump rope athletes in Hong Kong. And then yeah,
Okay, that's a lot of athletes.
it's like I think like the promotion of this sports is quite well in Hong Kong, because like we our coaches will always go to the primary schools and the secondary school to run teams and run interest class there. Almost every secondary school or primary school they got a team or like class there. So like yeah, I think like this is why like we got like so many athletes.
So there's a lot of involvement, you said, in primary and secondary schools. Um, what does that look like? Do the teams or the clubs go to the schools and then they work with them, or do the teachers at the school have the students just start doing jump rope? What does that look like?
So, like in Hong Kong, like there are a lots of after school classes. For example, like music or like other sports like basketball and stuff. And so that like we run our interest class in the first place with the schools. So like we send coaches, and then there will be like a 1 hour time after schools, and then the kids can choose which kind of sports they want to join in. And then yeah, and then like if the schools want to form a school team to compete in like some inter-school competition, because like the association in Hong Kong will like run a inter-school competition. And also like there is a jump rope for heart program in Hong Kong as well. So they will also like run a inter-school competition yearly. So like those teams will be competing in those kind of competition. So it keep going every year like this, and then there are like more and more school getting involved in this sports.
Gotcha. And I think we talked a little bit about how this year has been obviously very unique with training, very different, and how some of the difficulty is pushing yourself, not only when it's kind of hard when there's not a very clear competition, or when you don't necessarily have competition like last year, but when you're training by yourself, it's really difficult as opposed to training with your team. What has been your experience training by yourself? Was that only this year, or has there been other times as well where you've trained by yourself?
So like I just mentioned that I was planning to retire when I was 2018. But like after that I was like maybe I still need to like work out or something. So like so I joined a qualification in 2019, and I was lucky that I was like qualified to be a individual representative for a Hong Kong team in the Asian Championship. So starting from that year, I started to like train on my own. So I think like it is kind of like quite hard to like train without um, other competitions around you. So for
Yep.
example, like for speeds events, what I'm doing is like I made soundtrack for myself, and then I just follow that soundtrack every time to do the speeds training. And also like sometimes it's feel helpless, because like when we were like competing or like training with teammates, they will help you to count how many jumps you can do, and then they will give you feedback and stuff. And then when I was training alone, I was just like putting my AirPod on and then like no one is talking to you, and then you just have to like keep sweating and keep jumping, and then yeah, it was like quite hard.
Yeah, it's such a different it's a different type of discipline. It's a different type of actually getting the work done. Did you feel any difference at all with freestyle?
Um, so I think like if like I'm training alone on the freestyle event, it's more like how I design the routine, and then I think like it has to be like you need a very clear goals. For example, that year the judging system, and there is a level still a level six. So level six is a highest score in the freestyle event. So at that year, I try to like make a goal that I need to have 20 level six in my freestyle events. So I start to work on like how I can put 20 level six skills. Actually, that was like quite a lot, but I think like if I got this clear goal, I would like work really hard to get that.
And did it work? Was that motivating for you?
Yeah, yeah. So I think like I just like at that time I was like trying to like ignore all the like competitions from my friends that they are competing in the master event as well. I just want to like plan a goal for myself, and then yeah, I think that's better because like if you're always thinking about competition when you're training alone, that will be really
Not fun.
yeah not fun. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's dig into routine design a little bit because you talked about at the time level 6 was the highest skill and you wanted to put in 20 level 6 skills into your routine. Um, what is what does the judging look like for those freestyle events? All right, let's actually talk specifically. Let's go with what are the judging rules for single rope freestyle events, and then let's kind of talk about how you construct your routines based on that.
So I think like at that time the rules for FISAC is a little bit different from the IJRU rules right now. So at that time the when judging a freestyle events, there will be have two scores. So one is the difficulty, and the other one is the creativity. So everyone is doing like different skills in the routine, and then they will be like judged into different levels. So like I think like at that time level 6 was is scoring like 3 point something, and then level 5 is scoring 2 point something, and then so like we have to like work um, as many skills that high level skills that we can in a routine. So like when we are like trying to design a freestyle routine for ourselves, we just have to plan what kind of skills that we can do, and which kind of skills that we can be put into the freestyle. So we keep testing and see if like we have enough energy to like finish all the skills in the routine, and then yeah, that's it. So like this is how we plan to like design a routine.
And so when you're talking about a level 5, or I think you said level 5 gives you 2 points, level 6 gives you 3 points. What does your final score then look like?
I think I remember that there is a time that my difficulty score is so like they will be scaled to 250, but I'm not sure like how they score. So like they will like there will be something that they will like multiply, and then they will make it into 250. And that time I was like 230 something. Yeah, I remember like yeah.
And have you changed your, because now we have IJRU, have you changed the way you're approaching your routines based on the difference of rules now?
Yeah, because like at that time, like creativity and difficulty, they are like score in half. So the full score is like 500, and then they will be like ranking. They will have two ranking for each of the difficulty and also the creativity. But right now, the rules are really difficulty based. So right now, for example, when you do a level 8, you will score like 11 point something, and then a level 7 skills will score like 6 point something. So for the final score will be like adding all the score that you have for difficulty, and then there will be like a 30% difference for the, so like if your score is 100, and then you get like some good scores in creativity, they will like try to multiply some 30% range to your score. Yeah. So this is the difference between the rules. So like I think like for the rules now, we will focus more on the difficulty. So like we will try to work as many level 6, 7, and 8 as we can, because like difficulty matters the most right now.
Mm-hmm. And so does that lead you to then choose doing a lot of multiple unders, because those skills you can really put together really tightly and do a lot of high level skills? Because I think as I'm sure you're well aware, there's a lot of different styles across the world. And I think one of the unique elements of Hong Kong style is a lot of really clean and really hard quadruple under, quintuple under, high level multiple skills that are together.
Yeah, because like I think like everyone is doing a lot of multiple unders in
Yeah.
their routine. So that's why you have to do the same amount so that you can like keep yourself. Yeah. So and also like maybe we think that like it is the easiest way for us to like get more score that we can. So we will drill into those multiple unders so that we can like try to score higher in the difficulty, and then it will be easier for us to win.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Let's go back to speed training real quick, because you mentioned you you put your AirPods in and you have a track that you're listening to, and you do that. What I mean, you can be as specific as you want. What type of things are you doing in your speed training? What are some examples of way you kind of structure your speed training?
So I usually make it simpler when I was training alone, but when I was like holding some training in my club, it will be a lot of more sophisticated, because like we can have different period. For example, we can first train 10 seconds, and then 20 seconds, and then 30 seconds. So we can periodize all the training that we can. But when I'm training alone, I usually just do like 30 seconds every time, but like we using different kind of like background music to increase the speed, so that I can like try to warm myself up to like get to the score that I want. So yeah, it will be like a little bit more boring. So if you are training alone.
Yeah, I agree. Because yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've definitely had those days where I've been in the gym for an hour and a half by myself running speed. And it's interesting because when you're not there with a team, or at least honestly, if you're not there with at least friends who are also jumping, uh it's so much easier to just leave early, or to not have fun, or when you're having a bad day and you're missing a lot. It's just, you just don't want to do it anymore. But then when you're with your friends, you all kind of push each other.
Yeah, they will like try to encourage and give you feedback and stuff. But yeah, but I think like sometimes I'm that kind of person that when I feel warm up, or like I I have some like I'm feeling the form, and I will keep pushing myself. So I know that like there is always a goals there. So like for example, I need to join a competition so that I can have a goal train so that I will know like when I need to push myself harder. So I won't be like very lazy that I don't want to do a 30-second speed for like score of 90. I will know that I need to like I have to do 100 score for the 30 seconds. So I will like try to plan my training. So when I need to push myself harder, and then I will this is easier for me like to train alone. If I don't join any competition, I think like I would be really lazy.
Yeah, because you don't, like you said, there's no goal. What are you doing it for? And when you don't know why you're jumping, it's very easy to then stop jumping.
Yeah, because like this year, COVID-19 situation is making like a little bit hard for all of the training. So I was like thinking maybe this year is really the time that to like really retire from competition. But I feel like myself getting fatter and then eating a lot and then not moving
Yeah.
every day. And then so I started to think maybe I should have a goal that like I can compete, but like maybe not in that intense level, but I still have a goal to train and go to gym, and then it would be makes me a lot easier to like get into training. So
Yeah.
that's why I hope that I'm still able to qualify for the virtual championship this year. But I think like it's more like I have a goal for me to work out or to train.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think that that's something that it's one of the things that I'm most excited about with our sport in the years to come is the development of basically a recreational league for people like you or I who we're not trying to necessarily be world champions, right? We just want to go there. We want to compete. We want to have fun. We want to do really well. We want to do well for ourselves. And we always want to see ourselves get better. But there's like you said, a very big difference between showing up to competition and doing well for our own scores versus trying to go win first place at a world competition. Those are two very different goals. And I think that makes a lot of sense to still be active and to still want to do it, but to not necessarily want to do it at the highest level possible.
Yeah, and that is one of the things that I'm thinking. But because like in Hong Kong, the competition was really intense. So like if you get 100 in 30 seconds, you may be just ranking like six. I think like 8 to 9 in Hong Kong. So it is like quite frustrating for athletes in Hong Kong to compete, and then they don't have like other than like from the IJRU World Championship, there is no other platform for them to like train for goals or have fun in training. So that is what I'm thinking. Like, should we like start something like we can make training more fun, not just for like competition, but like also making all people to work out with jump rope, with the sports that they love. So yeah, I was thinking like how can we like make things work, and then yeah.
What have you been, what are your thoughts so far? I noticed that, you have a YouTube channel, you've done a lot of informational videos. Are you trying to move into the like you're talking about a more recreational side, or what are your thoughts so far on ways we could achieve that?
So like right now, I'm working on two projects. So in 2019, I was like having a chance to work with a corporate in Hong Kong. So like they have like a value that they want to inject purpose into business. So like we started a company with that corporate in Hong Kong. So because like in Hong Kong there are more and more people like starting to jump rope, and then uh, based on my observation and my experience on coaching, and then I think like there should be like a framework for people to train so that they can have a clear framework and then clear goals to train to like I think like for no matter like their they want to be professional athletes, or they just want to train leisurely. So I designed like a program so that people can participate in the program, and then they will get a little exact assessment, and then they could like get a certificate after they fulfill all the requirement. So I have been like working on that program since 2019, and right now we are like working on the English version of this program. And then I think like we just got approved it by the NASM as a continuing education. So I think like we will like try to get more people to join in our program, because like I think like if there is a clear goals for training, and then they knew like what skill are good for them, and then what skill are they going to learn, and then how we are going to assess them. If like, for example, I saw Nate, you are working on so many like skills combo, and then if there is no such kind of like programs for like people to join in the sports, it is hard to keep them motivated. So I think like that program is kind of like trying to keep people to know like what are the levels are, and then how they can like work towards the goals.
I love that. That's awesome. And the fact that you've gotten recognition from NASM about that, and that it's a continuing education credit, that's amazing. I mean, that is, there are likely people listening who that is not it's not really known what that means, but that is a very big deal. That means a lot, and that is really congratulations on achieving that, because it's a very big step. That program that you have with the certification, is that program like is it a workout program? Is it a knowledge program where you then can go coach about jump rope? What are kind of what does that program look like?
So there are two sides for the program. Like the first one is our technical certification. So like we set a framework so that we have clear goals. So like there are actually four sections for the technical assessment. The first one is a speed assessment for a 30-second speed, and then we have like some technical speeds. For example, like people can cross open 30 seconds, so people keep repeating to do as many as cross open they can in 30 seconds. The third part is like skill combo. So we got a list of skills that people can like try to design their own routine, and then they need to finish like 10 skills within like 1 minute. So like they can have a list to design. And then the last one is like one of the routine that we designed. So there are like different checkpoints and learning goals for them to keep up with if they want to follow music to train or stuff, and that is good for them to like having a routine that they can follow. So there are four sections for them to participate in the certification. And then the other side, there is our instructor program that we are working on, because like I think like there is a lot of professional stuff and terms that we need to be a coach. And then like for a jump rope coach, I think the coach has to be like very clear that what are the common mistakes are, what are the key problems that they will be encountering, and how we can solve those common mistakes, and then how we can like help our students or like clients to train their basic skills, and then to prepare them to like get into like more high level skills. And then like for example like triple unders, and then different kind of like TJ, how can we like prepare them to get into this kind of like high level skills. So I think like this is the program that we are trying to work on, so that like more and more people know how to instruct others, but not like just I can do these skills and then I can start to coaching some others else. And then I think it's important for us like to, if like we are a professional athletes, or like we have been doing like this sports for so many years. So I think like we need something like this to like helping our sports to like develop or like get more people to know about this sports.
I completely agree, and I think that jump rope's in a very interesting spot right now because it's so it's not new for you and I who have known about the sport for a very long time, and we know the history of the sport, but for most people it's very new. And in the grand big picture of things, it is still very new. And we're at a spot right now where there are people who are professionals, who are legitimate coaches, who have knowledge of not only true like training and coaching, but thorough knowledge of all types of ways to participate in jump rope and the way the body works, and understanding this meeting point between personal training, bioenergetics, and biology, and jump rope. And I think that's what you're talking about. And then there's this other type of person who, like you said, does a couple skills and then now applies the term coach to themselves, which is very, very different. But because of the way things are currently, it's nearly impossible for somebody who's new to truly distinguish between the person who is using the label versus the person who has earned it. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of years to really earn that. And I think that what you're doing sounds like it's going to be extremely, extremely useful. So it sounds like the intention of your program, well, obviously you have a couple of different ones, but the intention is to build up qualified instructors who can then give the correct cues, who can actually coach effectively, but then also train them how they can progress through their jumping. Is that true?
Yes, because yeah, I think because for example, right now when you tell people like that you're jumping rope, and then they have like different kind of pictures that you're jumping rope. So we just want to making a lot easier for people to like visualize like I'm a level 1 certified um, jump roper. So like they will know so that I know that you can do some easy advanced crosses, and then you can do a few double unders. I think like that will be easier for like coaches to follow, or like for all the people to know like what levels are you, and then it is much easier for like some others to like give you comments or like help to instruct you, rather than like I just jump rope and then I didn't know like what kind of skills level are you in. So that would be a lot like easier for athletes and also coaches to follow.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's funny you bring this up because I've thought about this idea of a certification or an actual like instructor's course a lot. And it's really cool to hear you talk about making a lot of steps on that and being recognized by NASM. And your mindset, just from us talking over DM, I knew that our mindsets were very, very similar. And I think that it's really awesome, the work that you're doing.
Yeah, because like we want to share this program to more people. So like right now we will like trying to create more contents, or maybe we can talk about that after the podcast, that how can we like work together and then making the program more interesting and then like more professional.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we're going to have a lot of things to talk about offline. Let's move in a little bit of a different direction. I was looking through your page and I saw a photography account that was linked there. Do you do photography?
Yeah, I do.
Nice. How did you get started with that?
So I started my own drum rope club when in 2015. So I think that was like 6 years ago. At that time, I was like trying to build a Instagram account for my own club. So like I started to like help my teammates to take photos.
Nice.
You can check that Instagram out, like it's the Ultra Drum Rope, so that you can see a lot of like pictures that we are doing TJ in different places in Hong Kong. And then so that's why I started photography. So after that, I was trying to be more professional, so I just started to buy some professional equipment and then started to do some like portrait shoot and then learn from like other photographers, and then yeah, and then now I'm like doing some photography for others.
Yeah, your shots are really good. I saw an account with a bunch of studio portrait shots. Did you take those?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Nice. Yeah, your studio work was really really good. You do a great job with the color palettes and everything. What do you shoot with?
You mean my camera?
Yeah.
It's the Canon EOS R.
Yes. Okay, cool. I have one of those too. We're in the same club.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I think like EOS R is like quite nice for like the mirrorless
Yeah.
lens. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it really is. It's a very very sharp camera. I use that one for most of my videos too because that flip screen is so useful to be able to actually see what's on screen, you know. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, let's let's go back to competition. I don't think I formally asked you what was the team you were on.
So my club, the name of my club is the Ultra Drum Group. So the proper name is like Hong Kong Institute of Road Skipping.
Gotcha. Okay. And is this this was the first one you joined after primary school when you were getting into jump rope?
No, this is the one that I founded, but
Gotcha.
yeah, this is a third. I think like 13 that I was joining. There was a time I was trying to like I was thinking to retire because that was my second year in my uni, and then I think like people, my friends are like they are looking for internship and stuff, and I was like still competing as a jump
Yeah.
up athlete. And then at that time I was thinking to retire from competition, but there was a time that like uh, there are some other people that they want to train with me, and then so like we started off like training together for the world championship that year. It was hosted in Hong Kong, so like we trained together, and then after the championship, they told me that I want to join you to train together. So that's why at that time there was like around 10 people, and then I think like that might be a good time that I can start my own club because this is what I wanted to do when I was like young, like when I was like 15, 16, maybe I want to be a jump rope coach or own my own jump rope club in Hong Kong. So at that time, I started my own club. So this is the club that I started. So right now, we still have some people to compete in team championship and individual as well.
That's really cool. That's that's so awesome that you've created this team and you've built it up from working with so many people. It's also funny that you've had many different times you've thought about retiring, but you never quite got to retire. We got you back in.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think like there is always a thought that I wanted to retire, but I don't know like why there always is a reason that pull me back into jump rope. So I think that's quite interesting, but I think I quite enjoy the process.
Yeah, I kind of understand that because like I think the last year I stopped really competing was like the first year of university, but I didn't really consider myself retired even though I didn't compete formally for a long time and I didn't train, but I spent a lot of time in jump rope in different parts of jump rope. So rather than going to competitions and being on a team, I focused a lot of my time on jump rope for people who are doing CrossFit or jump rope for recreational use, right? Which is very, very different. But then I find myself like I think not last year, but 2019. Man, it's crazy how fast the years have gone. 2019 in the fall, there was a local competition that I went to and I competed in, and it was really fun, and I still consider myself a competitive jump roper, even though I really haven't done that many competitions in the past few years, which is probably not correct, but that's still the way I feel in terms of you explaining that something that pulls you back. Like I do get very interested to go back to jump rope, you know. I think when I was working non-jump rope jobs, it was significantly harder, and I definitely did not train for competition because I didn't feel like I had the time for that, or the motivation because I wasn't around a team, right? But I definitely think about that a lot, especially now going back to a competition.
Yeah, I think like yeah, I'm waiting to be in like the 30 years old category so that, so that the competition will be much easier.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be strategic about the competition.
Yes.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, because like I'm right now in the 19 or above, and then like the competition was like very intense. So that I think like sometimes so like right now I still have my daytime job, and then after work I still have to drag myself to the gym and then do the training. I think like it is really hard for me to like be sustainable in jump rope because you don't have enough time to recover from training every day, and then you don't have the time, and then I don't even have like some me time after training, and I was still like really frustrated if I keep competing at this like high level. So yeah, I was thinking like maybe next year I can like try to be more fun in competition, and then I can so that I can wait until like after 3 years I can join the 30 years old.
Yeah. I mean, it is, you're right, though. It's kind of a double edged sword where you want to be there and you want to participate and you want to have fun. But the ticket that you need in order to even participate is it's such a high bar to meet for competition. When you're talking about you need 130 seconds, a score of 130 seconds, and that's the benchmark just to be considered to go to the competition. I mean, that is very difficult, and to maintain that, like you're saying, working your job and then having to go, like, you don't have enough time to recover. And one of my friends, Shari Hawkins, is a professional heptathlete, and I did a lot of work with her and shooting videos and taking photos and stuff, and I've been able to see kind of the behind the scenes of what her life is like being a professional athlete. And she spends at minimum a full amount of full-time work on her sport, not just practice, but it's all the things that nobody ever sees. It's the recovery, it's the meal plan, it's the getting plenty of sleep, it's all these other things that when you are working a day job, in quotes, it makes it very difficult. And I think that, I mean, I'm curious your thoughts on this, because I feel like the sport of jump rope is moving in a direction where ultimately there's going to be an option for what we're talking about. There's going to be a competition style or some type of event or something that is mostly for fun. It still allows us to show up and compete and have that competitive aspect of things, but it's not going to have that massive high bar, you know?
I'm working on another project, so like this is I think like I'm trying to like use the internet or utilize like how internet works now. So like right now I'm starting to run a I started a tech startup. So it is a like a jump rope fitness app, and then yeah, I think like I'm planning to like run some online programs, for example, such so that people can have like a easier like have like the rules are like much easier, so that people can keep playing around with different tricks and then stuff, and then they could still compete with a quote and then in jump rope. So like I think like maybe there will be like some easy competition on the app, so that people can submit their videos on the app, and then we can see each other submitting their videos, and then kind of making it more fun to join in to participate in jump rope.
Do you think we need different events in competitive jump rope?
It will be like more, I think I wanted to make it more workout driven. For example, like CrossFit, they have like a double D, and then we can like have different kind of scores towards the double D. I think like it's more that kind of stuff, and also we can like create some other like easier competitions, like for example, there is a skills of list, and then people can design their own combo and then try to finish as many skills they can in that kind of period of time. And then I think like this is something more fun to say this is the competitive jump rope, but more like jump rope to workout stuff, and then it will get more people to join in,
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah.
It's more accessible. People are a wider group is able to do it for the exact reason we're talking about. You don't have to have a full-time job just being an athlete in jump rope. You can participate at a normal person's level and still be
Yeah.
able to have fun.
Yeah. Because like it is too hard for everyone to like get into like 30-second speeds and then doing 100 score. And then yeah, I think like it is when we have like a easier or lower benchmark for everyone to join in, and then that will be make it more fun and then more satisfying.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree. And I think that will naturally lead to a different or a reshaping of our understanding of competition jump rope. Not that we're going to lose what we have right now, but I think that it will grow and expand into something new, you
Yeah,
know?
like yeah, more like a workout based thing, and then more fun, and then like people don't need to think about whether they are good enough to compete or not, but just having fun during their workout program.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%. This conversation has been really, really fun. I'm so glad that we are connecting. I'm so glad that you've agreed to talk to me, because this has been really, really fun. I think now's a good time to work towards the last question of the podcast, which is, what is jump rope to you?
Yeah, I think I have thought this question a lot,
Okay.
and then I think like jump rope is kind of like a belief to me, because like when you train you will think of lots of stuff like how can I get better, how can I do more skills, how could I create some skills, or how could I create a routine and stuff. So I think like for drum rope, when I was training or something, this is kind of like a belief that I can put these values that I earned it from my training
Hmm.
back into my life, and then to like to reveal myself, and then try to create something new and stuff. So like I think like jump rope is kind of like a belief to me.
Hmm. It sounds like it's kind of it's taught you a lot of lessons that have shaped the way you view a lot of the world.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And I agree with you on that. I feel very, very similarly. I think when you're young and, teenager, 15, give or take a few years, when you're that young and you show up to a sport and every single day you're getting whipped, but you keep going, I feel like that
Yeah.
shapes you.
Yeah, and also like I think like jump rope like give us a lots of exposure to different kind of stuffs. So like actually I was like really shy before I started jump rope. So I was those kids who play music in class and like don't talk anything. And then after I like started to jump rope, and then I feel like there is a transformation on my own. So like I get exposed to different kinds of competitions, and then I could perform in front of all the people, and then it feels like there is a great changes for me.
That's that's really exciting. I really love hearing that, because it's just massive growth as a human being because of the sport. And that, I mean, I don't know of a greater gift that you could get from a sport than that. That's amazing. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. This has been so much fun, to have you on and to hear your experience with jump rope, and to sit and talk about a lot of really cool things with competitive jump rope. And it's been fun to learn about not only your journey, but all the things that you've been working on, your program that you have, and the certification, and to hear some of your mindset. This has really been fun. I'm going to go ahead and let you get back to the rest of your day, because it is morning time for you. It is nighttime for me. I'm gonna let you get back to your day. But again, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
Before you go, I do have 3 things to say. Number 1, thank you for listening. I'm glad that you spent the time to hear what Pak and I talked about today. 2, could you send this podcast to one of your friends? Like I spoke about with Pak today, it's really important to include more people in the sport. And if you could send this off to someone that you think might like it, that would be amazing. And the last thing, if you're hungry for more jump rope things, that's tutorials, conversations, combos, etc., visit natekg.com/new-stuff. It's a web page. It's got all my most recent YouTube and IG posts. There's a quick form to sign up for my weekly newsletter if you want to get emails from me. New podcasts are linked there, etc. So there's a lot there. Definitely check that out if you want more jump rope things. All right, that's it. I will see you on the next episode.